ఓకే. సో ఎవరు రీడ్ చేస్తారు మీలో ఫస్ట్? 3-4 పారాగ్రాఫ్స్ రీడ్ చేయొచ్చు. దెన్ వీ కెన్ డిస్కస్. ఎవరైనా రీడ్ చేసి వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ యూ కెన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్, అండ్ దెన్ ఐ విల్ ఆల్సో షేర్ సంథింగ్ ఆన్ దట్. ఎనీ వాలంటీర్స్?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I can read.
Sure.
Every one of us is searching after happiness, but we do not know what real happiness is. We see so much advertised about happiness, but practically speaking, we see so few happy people. This is because so few people know that the platform of real happiness is behind temporary things. It is this real happiness that is described in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Happiness is generally perceived through our senses. A stone, for instance, has no senses and cannot perceive happiness and distress. Developed consciousness and can perceive happiness and distress more intensely than undeveloped consciousness. Trees have consciousness, but it is not developed. Trees may stand for a long time in all kinds of weather, but they have no way of perceiving miseries. If a human being were asked to stand like a tree for only 3 days or even less, he would not be able to tolerate it. The conclusion is that every living being feels happiness or distress according to degree of development of his consciousness. The happiness that we are experiencing in the material world is not real happiness. If one asks a tree, "Are you feeling happy?" The tree, if it could, might say, "Yes, I am happy, standing here all year. I am enjoying the wind and snowfall very much," etc. This may be enjoyed by the tree, but for the human being, it is a very low standard of enjoyment. There are different kinds and grades of living entities, and their conceptions and perceptions of happiness are also of all different types and grades. Although one animal may see that another animal is being slaughtered, he will go right on chewing grass, for he has no knowledge to understand that he may be next. He is thinking that he is happy, but at the next moment he may be slaughtered. In this way, there are different degrees of happiness, yet of all of them, what is the highest happiness? Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Sukham atyantikam yat tad buddhigraham atyandriyam veti yatra na chaivam chitas kalati tattvataha. In the joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. Yeah, Prabhuji, 4.
Yeah, you can summarize చేయొచ్చు నువ్వు. నేను జూమ్ కొంచెం తక్కువ చేస్తాను, సో యూ కెన్ సీ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వాట్ యూ రెడ్. ఐ డోంట్ నో ఇస్ దిస్ కన్వీనియంట్ ఫర్ యూ టు సీ?
Yeah.
ఇదే లాస్ట్ చదివాం కదా, మనం అంతవరకు చదివాం కదా.
Yeah,
Okay,
into
good. Yeah, you can see it and
like
you can summarize what you understood. One or two things or overall concept what you understand. చెప్పండి మీరు పర్లేదు.
yeah, like from these four standards, like I feel like the overall uh one thing is like ఒక్కొక్క living being on earth has different different level of consciousness or different level of senses.
Hmm.
And then like అందరూ ఫీల్ అయ్యే happiness is not the real happiness, like
Hmm.
what the stanzas are saying.
Hmm.
So the real happiness can be found through by the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna to
Hmm.
Arjuna as mentioned.
Hmm.
So ఈ four stanzas have been mentioned, yes, ma'am.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a good,
Yeah,
very good summary. Yeah,
yeah,
basically, ట్రీస్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ ఒక లెవెల్లో ఉంటుంది, లోవర్ లెవెల్లో ఉంటుంది. యానిమల్స్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ కొంచెం హైయర్ లెవెల్ ఉంటుంది. వాటికంటే హైయర్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో ఎవరెవరి కాన్షియస్నెస్ ప్రకారం వాళ్ళ డిగ్రీ ఆఫ్ హ్యాపీనెస్ డిఫరెంట్ అనమాట. ట్రీస్కి అయితే లోవర్ లెవెల్ హ్యాపీనెస్, యానిమల్స్కి ఇంకొంచెం హైయర్ లెవెల్ హ్యాపీనెస్, హ్యూమన్స్కి ఇంకా హైయర్ లెవెల్నెస్ కావాలన్నమాట. సో అది తెలుసుకుంటున్నాం మనం. యా, గుడ్, వెరీ గుడ్ పాయింట్స్ Satya. Yeah, next who would like to read? Next, let me see how many paragraphs are there. Oh, there are a lot of paragraphs, but we can do, yeah, three, four, actually again, 4 paragraphs, we can continue like that. We can rotate. Prabhas or Aditya, one of you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Prabhuji, నేను చదువుతాను.
yeah,
I'll
sure.
read.
Like,
లైక్ బుద్ధి నుంచి కదా ప్రభుజీ?
బుద్ధి నుంచి చదవచ్చు. బేసికలీ ఈ శ్లోక ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఈ శ్లోక చదివారు కదా,
అవును
ఆ
ప్రభుజీ.
శ్లోక ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ యూ కెన్ స్టడీ రీడ్ వన్ మోర్ టైమ్ దిస్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ అండ్ కంటిన్యూ అగైన్.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ. In that joyous state, samadhi, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness. Realized through transcendental senses, established thus, one never departs from the truth. Buddhi means intelligence. One has to be intelligent if he wants to enjoy. Animals do not really have really de- Animals do not have really developed intelligence, so so cannot enjoy life as a human being can. The hand, the nose, the eyes, and the other sense organs and all other bodily parts may be present on a dead man, but he cannot enjoy. Why not? The enjoying energy, the spiritual spark has left, and therefore the body has no power. If one looks further into the matter with a little intelligence, he can understand that it was not the body that was enjoying at all, but the small spiritual spark that was within. Although one may think that he is enjoying by the body sense organs, the real enjoyer is the spiritual spark. The spark always has the potency of enjoyment, but it is not always manifest due to being converted by material tab- tabernacle. Although we may not be aware of it, it is not possible for body to experience enjoyment without presence of spiritual spark. If a man is offered the dead body of a beautiful woman, will he accept it? No, because the spiritual spark has moved out of the body. Not only was it enjoying within the body, but it was maintaining the body. When the spark leaves, the body simply deteriorates. It follows that if spirit is enjoying, it must have its senses also. Otherwise, how can it enjoy? The Vedas confirm the spirit soul, although atomic in size, is actually enjoying agent. It is not possible to measure the soul, but that is not to say that it is without measurement. An object may seem to an object may seem to us to be no bigger than a point and may seem to have no length or width, but when we perceive it under a microscope we can see it has its body length and width. Similarly, the soul also has its dimensions, but we cannot perceive them. When we buy a suit or dress, it is made to fit the body. The spiritual spark must have the form. Otherwise, how the material body has grown to accommodate it? The conclusion is that spiritual spark is not impersonal. It is an actual person. God is the actual person. And the spiritual spark, being a fragmental part of him, is also a person. If Father has a personality and individuality, the Son also has them. And if Son has them, we can conclude that the Father has them. So now, how can we, as Son of God, assert our personality, individuality at the same time, deny them to our Father and Supreme Lord? What is this? Atindriyam.
Atindriyam, yeah.
Atindriyam means that we have to transcend these material senses before we can appreciate the real happiness. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chid atmani. The yogis who are aspiring after the spiritual life are also tasting enjoyment by focusing on the super soul within. If there is no pleasure, if there is no enjoyment, then what is the point of going to so much trouble to control the senses? What kind of pleasure are yogis relishing if they are taking so much trouble? That pleasure is ananta, endless. How is this? The spirit soul is eternal and the Supreme Lord is eternal. Therefore, reciprocation of their loving exchanges is external. Sorry, eternal. One who is intelligent will refrain from flickering sensual enjoyments of this material body and fix his enjoyment in spiritual life. His participation in spiritual life with the Supreme Lord is called rasa, rasatita. Okay.
Rasalila. Yeah.
Rasa Leela, okay.
Mm.
Rasa Leela. We have often heard of Krishna's Rasa Leela with the cohort girls in Vrindavan. That is not like an ordinary exchange that takes place between a material body. Rather, it is an exchange of feelings through spiritual bodies. One has to be somewhat intelligent to understand this. For a foolish man who cannot understand what real happiness is, seeks happiness in this material world. In India, there is a story of a man who did not know what sugarcane was and was told that it was very sweet to chew. Oh, what does it look like? He asked. It looks like a bamboo. rod, someone said. So the foolish man began to chew all the kinds of bamboo rods. How can he begin to experience the sweetness of sugarcane? Similarly, we are trying to get happiness and pleasure, but we are trying for them by chewing this material body. Therefore, there is no happiness and no pleasure. For the time being, there may be some little feeling of pleasure, but that is not the actual pleasure, for it is temporary. It is like a showing off lightning, which may see flashing in the sky that may momentarily seem like lightning, but the real lightning is beyond that, because a person does not really know what happiness is. He deviates from the real happiness.
యా ఐ థింక్ 4 పారాగ్రాఫ్స్ చదివేసినట్టున్నావు కదా. యా
మరీ పెద్దగా ఉన్నాయి ప్రభుజీ,
యా
సమ్మరైజ్ చేయడం కొంచెం.
షూర్. నేను పైకి వెళ్ళాను మళ్ళీ. యా
ఆ,
వాట్ యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ షూర్.
ఆ, అంటే లైక్ ఉత్త మెయిన్ బాడీయే కాదు, అంటే లాస్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్స్ నాకు ఎక్కువ గుర్తుంది. లైక్ ఉత్త
షూర్.
బాడీయే కాదు, లైక్ లైక్ స్పిరిట్ సోల్ కి యాక్చువల్ దాన్ని మనం బాడీతో ఏం ఎంజాయ్ చేయట్లేదు, మొత్తం స్పిరిట్ సోల్ తోనే ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఆ లైక్ దానికి బాడీ స్పిరిట్ సోల్ కి ఒకవేళ సెన్సెస్ లేకపోతే హౌ కెన్ వి, దానికి ఫామ్ లేదని అనుకుంటున్నాం కానీ, బట్ స్టిల్ ఇట్ ఇస్ మైక్రోస్కోప్ లో చూస్తే దానికి ఒక ఫామ్ ఉంటుంది, లెంత్ విడ్త్ దానికి అన్ని ఉంటాయి. బట్ అదే అనంత అదే ఆ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ ఇస్ ఎటర్నల్. లైక్ కృష్ణుడు యొక్క హ్యాపీనెస్ ఇస్ ఎటర్నల్ కాబట్టి, సో అదే స్పిరిట్ సోల్ యాజ్ వీఆర్ ఫ్రాగ్మెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ. సో మనం కూడా అదే ఎటర్నల్ హ్యాపీనెస్ కోసం వీ హ్యావ్ టు పాండర్ అరౌండ్.
వెరీ నైస్ సత్య. Yeah, I'll just elaborate couple of things, going back to one paragraph like that. So basically, ఇందులో ఏం చెప్తున్నారు ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ లో, దట్ వీఆర్ ఏ స్పిరిచువల్ స్పార్క్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఎంజాయింగ్, బాడీ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎంజాయింగ్. బికాస్ డెడ్ బాడీకి ఎంత ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ ఇచ్చినా ఏమీ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ తెలియదు. కానీ స్పిరిచువల్ స్పార్క్ సోల్ ఉంది కాబట్టి బాడీలో, దెన్ వీఆర్ ఫీలింగ్ ద ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ లైక్ దట్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద రియల్ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ పాయింట్ బీయింగ్ మేడ్. ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే, సోల్కి డైమెన్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. నెక్స్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్కి వచ్చాను ఇప్పుడు. సోల్కి డైమెన్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, కాకపోతే సోల్ మెటీరియల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కాదు కాబట్టి మెజర్ చేయలేము. మనం టేప్ పెట్టి మెజర్ చేయలేము, ఈవెన్ మైక్రోస్కోప్ పెట్టి మెజర్ చేయలేము. బికాజ్ మెటీరియల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అయితే చూడొచ్చు మైక్రోస్కోప్లో. సోల్ స్పిరిచువల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కదా, స్పిరిచువల్ ఐడెంటిటీ కాబట్టి సోల్ని చూడలేము, కానీ మెజర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఎందుకంటే సోల్ షేప్ బట్టే మన బాడీ షేప్, మెటీరియల్ బాడీ, ఎక్స్టర్నల్ మెటీరియల్ బాడీ షేప్ వస్తుందని చెప్తున్నారు ప్రభుపాద వారు ఇక్కడ. సో దట్ మీన్స్ సోల్కి ఇది బేసికలీ సోల్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ ఇంపర్సనల్, సోల్ హ్యాస్ ఎ ఫామ్. బేసికలీ ఇక్కడ చెప్తున్నారు, స్పిరిచువల్ స్పార్క్ ఆర్ సోల్ హ్యాస్ ఎ ఫామ్. సో మనం గాడ్లో ఒక పార్ట్ అండ్ పార్సల్ అంటున్నాం కదా. సో మనకే ఫామ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు గాడ్కి కూడా ఫామ్ ఉంటుంది కదా. ఆ లాజిక్ చెప్తున్నారు ఇక్కడ ప్రభుపాద వారు. ఇక్కడ హౌ కెన్ వి సే వీ హ్యావ్ ఫామ్ అండ్ పర్సనాలిటీ, ఇండివిజువాలిటీ అన్ని ఉన్నాయి మనకి, గాడికి లేవు, ఫీలింగ్స్ ఉండవు, గాడికి ఫామ్ ఉండదు, గాడికి రూపం ఉండదు అనడానికి లాజికల్ లేదని చెప్తున్నారు ప్రభుపాద వారు ఈ పారాగ్రాఫ్ లో. నెక్స్ట్ ఏమో ఇక్కడేమో యోగీసు కష్టపడి సెన్సెస్ కంట్రోల్ చేసుకుంటారు, మైండ్ కంట్రోల్ చేసుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తారు, అన్ని ఆస్టరిటీస్ చేస్తారు. వై దే డూయింగ్? బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సింగ్ ఇన్నర్ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ విత్ ద సూపర్ సోల్, విత్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ విత్ సూపర్ సోల్ లైక్ దాట్. సో అది ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నారు ప్రభుపాద వారు. లేకపోతే అంత కష్టపడరు కదా వాళ్ళు. ఒకరోజు 1 month 1 year చేయొచ్చు, లాంగ్ టర్మ్ చేయడం కష్టం. సో అది ఇంకో ఆస్పెక్ట్ ఈ పారాగ్రాఫ్ ఇంట్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్. దేర్ ఇస్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ అట్ ద స్పిరిచువల్ లెవెల్, నాట్ జస్ట్ మెటీరియల్ లెవెల్ లైక్ దట్. దాన్ని ఎలాబరేట్ చేయడానికి కృష్ణ ఎంజాయింగ్ విత్ గోపీస్ ఈజ్ ఎట్ ద స్పిరిచువల్ లెవెల్ అని చెప్తున్నారు ప్రభుపాద వారు. యూజింగ్ స్పిరిచువల్ బాడీస్, నాట్ మెటీరియల్ బాడీస్. మనలాంటి మెటీరియల్ బాడీస్తో ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ కాదు వాళ్ళది. సో మనకి అది ఇప్పుడు అర్థం కావట్లేదు. ఇప్పుడు మెటీరియల్ బాడీ హ్యాపీనెస్ తెలుసు కానీ మనకి స్పిరిచువల్ బాడీ హ్యాపీనెస్ తెలవట్లేదు. లైక్ దానికి ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్తున్నారు. ఏంటి? షుగర్ కెన్, somebody doesn't know how the sugar cane tastes. You tell them it looks like bamboo, then they're trying to chew bamboo to find out. But bamboo doesn't have any sweetness. Sugar cane has sweetness. So they're not able to understand sweetness of sugar cane by trying it with bamboo. It's like that only for us, like that is describing. So basically, what is the real, how do we get the real happiness? It will continue in the next paragraphs. It will continue. But for now, it's clear that there's happiness at material level, at the bodily level, but beyond that, there's a real happiness at the spirit level also. And if you're experiencing that spiritual happiness, then we don't worry about the bodily level happiness. That's the point Prabhupada is taking so far. Okay, continue. At the end, everybody can share points whatever they got in the whole session, basically. Yeah? But let us go through. Prabhas, your turn next from here.
ప్రభుజీ పద్యం నుంచి చదవమంటారా?
The process for establishing ఇక్కడ నుంచి చదవచ్చు.
The process for establishing oneself in real happiness is the process of Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, we can gradually develop a real intelligence and naturally enjoy relishing spiritual happiness. As we make spiritual progress, as we begin to relish spiritual happiness, we proportionally abandon material happiness. As we make progress in understanding the absolute truth, we naturally become detached from this false happiness. If somehow or other one is promoted to that stage of Krishna consciousness, what is the result? Yam labdva kaparam
Chaparam,
labam manyate nadikam tat yasmin stito na dukkena gurunpi vikalyate. Upon
Vichalyate.
gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. When one attains that stage, other achievements appear insignificant. In this material world, we are trying to achieve so many things: richness, women, fame, beauty, knowledge, etc. But as soon as we are situated in Krishna consciousness, we think, oh, no achievement is better than this. Krishna consciousness is so potent that a little taste can save one from the greatest danger. As one begins to relish the taste of Krishna consciousness, he begins to see other so called enjoyments and attainments as flat and tasteless. And if one is situated firmly in Krishna consciousness, the greatest danger cannot disrupt him. There are many there's so many dangers in life because the material world is a place of danger. We tend to close our eyes to this and because we are foolish, we try to adjust to these dangers. We may have many dangerous moments in our lives, but if we are training ourselves in Krishna consciousness and preparing ourselves to go home back to Godhead, we will not care for them. Our attitude will then be dangerous, come and go, so let them happen. It is very difficult to make this kind of adjustment as long as one is on the materialistic platform and is identifying with the gross body, which is composed of visible elements. But the more advances in Krishna consciousness, the more he becomes free from bodily designations and this material entanglement.
Yeah, entanglement. You want to read one more paragraph or you want to summarize what you read so far?
I can read Prabhuji.
Okay, sure. From
In
here.
Srimad Bhagavatam, the material world is compared to a great ocean. Within this material universe, there are millions and billions of planets floating in space, and we can just imagine how many Atlantic and Pacific oceans are there. In fact, the whole material universe is likened to great ocean of misery, an ocean of birth and death. In order to cross this great ocean of nescience, a strong boat is needed, and that strong boat is the lotus feet of Krishna. We should immediately get uh, aboard the boat. We should not hesitate, thinking that Krishna's feet are very small. The whole universe is simply resting on his leg. For one who takes shelter on his feet, it is said that the material universe is no more significant than the puddle of uh, water found in the impression of a calf's hoof print. There is certainly no difficulty in crossing over such a small puddle.
Yeah, summarize చేస్తావా చదువుతున్నావా ఇంకా?
Yeah, summarize చేస్తాను ప్రభుజీ.
షూర్, పైకి వెళ్ళినా.
సో ఈ మెటీరియల్ వరల్డ్ లో లైక్ ఒక పీపుల్ కి లైక్ రిచ్ అవ్వాలని ఉంటుంది, ఉమెన్ కావాలి, ఫెయిత్ కావాలి, ఆ బ్యూటీ నాలెడ్జ్ ఇవన్నీ కావాలి. బట్ కానీ ఒకవేళ తను కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్ లోకి వెళ్తే ఇవన్నీ లైక్ వేస్ట్, ఇవన్నీ టెంపరీ అని చెప్పి రియలైజ్ అవుతాడు. సో వన్స్ కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్నెస్ లోకి వెళ్తే అదే కావాలనిపిస్తుంది. లెట్స్ సే ఇన్ ద లైక్ యూనివర్స్ లో ఒక పెద్ద ఓషన్ ఉంటుంది. సో వీ నీడ్ టు క్రాస్ దట్ ఓషన్. లైక్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ టు క్రాస్ దట్ ఓషన్. లైక్ ఈ యూనివర్స్ అంతా కృష్ణాస్ ఫీట్ మీద ఉంటుంది. సో మనం కనుక కృష్ణ కాన్షియస్నెస్ లోకి వెళ్తే ఈ ఓషన్ ని క్రాస్ చేయడం అనేది చాలా ఈజీ. యా
యా వెరీ నైస్ ప్రభాస్, వెరీ ఎసెన్షియల్ సమ్మరీ బాగా చెప్పావు. యా బేసికలీ ద సమ్మరీ పాయింట్ హియర్ లైక్ యూ డిస్క్రైబ్డ్ ఇస్ I'm emphasizing only, you already covered the point. Emphasis is that when we really progress in Krishna consciousness, then we are relishing the real spiritual happiness. Then when we get real spiritual happiness, then we don't care about the lower happiness related to material body like that. That is the main point coming out of this section. And then how does that happen? Because the more we become Krishna conscious, the more we become free from material bodily designations and చెప్పారు కదా ఇక్కడ bodily designations. That means we're not thinking I'm this body like that. Then if I'm thinking I'm this body, I'm only thinking about happiness for the body. But if I'm experiencing happiness of the soul through Krishna consciousness, then I see that I'm not this body, I'm a soul like that. Then I don't care so much about the happiness of the body like that. That doesn't mean we neglect the body. It means we are experiencing the higher pleasure, but we take care of the body, understanding that we are in this world. We need to take care of the body also like that. And then basically, if I'm becoming free from bodily designation means I'm father, I'm husband, I'm a male, I'm an American, I'm an Indian, all those designations అనమాట, bodily designations అంటే. సో వాటిలో నుంచి మనం సోల్ ప్రాపర్కి వెళ్తాం, అంటే ఐఎమ్ సర్వెంట్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ, ఐఎమ్ పార్ట్ అండ్ పార్సల్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ, ఆ కాన్షియస్లోకి వెళ్తాం అనమాట. అండ్ దెన్ మూమెంట్ వి బికమ్ ఫ్రీ ఫ్రమ్ దాట్, then we can become free from material entanglement. Material entanglement అంటే like staying in the material world, basically taking another birth like that in the material world. That material entanglement also will become free basically through Krishna consciousness. And Prabhas nicely explained about this example, how whole material world is compared to like a ocean, big ocean. And then normally to cross the ocean is very difficult, and this is called ocean of birth and death or ocean of misery like that. But when we practice Krishna consciousness, when we take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, then what happens is the crossing of the ocean becomes easier. How easier? The explanation is like how when a cow's baby is called calf. So let us say there's rain and there's a lot of mud in the ground. When a calf means a small baby keeps their feet on one of the places in the mud, then there's a small ditch that forms, right? That's a small, that they're calling as calf's hoof footprint. Like our legs, we call them legs, but a calf, they call it hoof. The hoof print is formed in the mud. So the big ocean of material world, by worshipping Krishna, by taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, it has become like a small puddle, small hoof footprint like that. So then we can easily cross over it. We don't need a big boat, we don't need to row, we don't need to swim big ocean. We can just cross over it like that. How is it happening? The boat is Krishna's lotus feet like that. So that's what is describing. That's how people, why is that possible? Because Krishna is empowering us, because Krishna is giving us the strength, Krishna is giving us his hand. That is why it's becoming so easy to cross over the ocean of birth and death. That means we can go back to spiritual world. That is the essential point here. So let's go to the next section. Maybe I'll read the next section and then we'll give it to Saityaja if there's something remaining. Oh, a few, only little bit remaining. Okay, let's do that. And while I'm reading, I'll tell you Sanskrit also. Little bit. Basically, whenever there's a line on top of it, is pronounced as ah, like that. Tam, not vidyad, vidyad, tam vidyad. Dukkha, not dukkha, because there's no great R, right? No line on top of it, so it will be dukkha. Samyoga, viyogam, yoga, samnitam, like that. And yeah, this is the verse from Bhagavad Gita 6.23, sixth chapter. Sixth chapter is about meditation, Ashtanga Yoga. That is the chapter. This indeed is the actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. Because by connecting with, by thinking that I'm material, I'm matter, I'm body, and then by trying to enjoy matter in different forms, then I'm going into miseries. How is that misery coming? Because when you try to enjoy something material object, while getting the object itself is misery, it takes a lot of effort to get the object, and even after getting it, it will cause painful miseries also afterwards. For example, if I love gulab jamuns, I eat 1,100 gulab jamuns. It's very hard to live 100 gulab jamuns. Let us say I eat 25 gulab jamuns one day, then I'll feel stomach pain. Next day I'll get some sickness, like that kind of thing. Similarly, by actually doing sense gratification, we're going away from spiritual purpose we meant to achieve, because it's distracting us from spiritual purpose we need to achieve. And it's very hard when we do sense gratification to understand the spiritual subject matter like that. So that is what this telling. What is the actual freedom? That engaging in devotion service is actual freedom from all miseries. So we're entangled in this material world due to uncontrolled senses. When the senses are not controlled, that means we keep on enjoying, trying to look for enjoyment, more enjoyment, like that. But the yoga process is meant to control the senses. All these yogas, generally, they're meant to do sense control and mind control. But for what purpose? Not just for sense control, just for mind control. Sense control, mind control, so that we can focus our attention on Krishna, so that we can focus our attention on the goal of yoga, like that. So that's why he's saying, if somehow we can manage it to control the senses, we can turn our faces to actual spiritual happiness and make our lives successful. See, that means if we don't take the distraction of sense enjoyment, then we can actually focus on spiritual happiness, like that is describing. For example, let us say I'm going from here to New York. When I'm going on highway, I'll get different exits. If I'm focused and not get distracting with let me check out that what is there in that park, let me check out that what is in this service area, let me check out what is there in this hotel, let me check out how is this gas station, like that. If I keep on getting diverted with every small thing like that, that feels inquisitive, that feels like there may be some enjoyment there, like that, then I will never go to New York, or it takes very long time, like that. Similarly, we should be careful not to get distracted with uncontrolled sense gratification, basically. That is the point being made. We cannot avoid sense gratification altogether. For example, we need some sense gratification to be happy. For example, I need to eat food to keep the body and soul together fit. And then I need to feel that I need to eat some nice, tasty food. Otherwise, I will not feel happy, like that. That's okay, but not uncontrolled manner. That's the point being made here. So uncontrolled manner means now that become addiction. That become addiction, and we keep on doing that, basically. That is what is distracting us from getting the real spiritual happiness. That is the point. Now let us read this. Whenever in the diacritics C is used, is pronounced as cha, like Saitaja Challa, like that. Not ka. Okay. Sai nischayena, yoktavyo, yoga anirvinna chetasa, sankalpa prabhavan, kamams, त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् अशेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रिय ग्रामं विनियम्य samantataha. So you can also learn reading. That's why I'm reading slowly. Sanair uparamed buddhya dhriti. Whenever R has a dot underneath, it's pronounced as re, like ring, like that. Dhriti, not drati. Dhriti, like that. Dhriti grihitaya. See, on the top of I is there, I made E, like that. Like A, on top of A is there, like that, right? Similarly, E, like that. Atma samstam mana kritva nakinchid api chintayet yato yato nischalati manasyanchalam astiram tatas tato niyam yaitad atmani eva vasam nayet. This is this is a nice instructions we'll see. This is going towards mind control. So this is a translation of those verses, 3 verses in Bhagavad Gita 6.24 to 6.26. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with undeviating determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. Focusedly we need to travel. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. Gradually, step by step, with full conviction, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction. And thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of self. This is actually one of the important instructions of Bhagavad Gita that talks about how to control the mind. Because Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, you're telling me all these things about controlling the mind. But controlling the mind is not so easy. I'm so powerful, actually I can control the wind also. Arjuna is so powerful. He can use his arrows to control the wind, it seems, stop the wind like that from blowing also. But we cannot do that kind of thing. Such a person is saying, I cannot control my mind. Then Krishna is giving this prescription. Yes, you're right. Mind is flickering. Mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, temporary. One must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So let us say when we are chanting, our mind goes to do office, mind thinks about India, mind thinks about some friend like that. Then the moment we recognize that mind is thinking about office now, we need to bring it back. Actually, that practice of bringing it back to hearing the holy name helps us to develop so much concentration, focus, and helps us to grow in bhakti also, because we're trying to chant attentively. So now he says, the mind is always disturbed. It's going sometimes this way and sometimes that way. By yoga practice, we literally drag the mind to Krishna consciousness. The mind strays from Krishna consciousness to so many exterior objects, because from time immemorial, life after life, that has been our practice. What has been practice? Thinking about external objects for sense gratification. That is our practice. That's why it takes time to refocus back in Krishna consciousness for us. Due to this, there may be difficulty in the beginning when one tries to fix mind in Krishna consciousness, but these difficulties can all be overcome. Don't think that you cannot avoid that mind going here and there. You can overcome. It is because the mind is agitated and not fixed on Krishna that it goes from one thought to another. Meaning, if you fix it on Krishna, it doesn't go everywhere. But because currently we're not able to fix it on Krishna, that's why it's going everywhere. So, for instance, when we are engaged in work, memories of events that happened 10, 20, 30, or 40 years ago may suddenly come to our mind. Something that happened years ago will come with no apparent reason. They are coming from a subconscious mind. That is why mind is always agitated. If you agitate a lake or a pond, all the mud from the bottom comes to the surface. Similarly, when the mind is agitated, so many thoughts arise from the subconscious that have been stored there over the years. If you don't disturb a pond, the mud will settle to the bottom. Similarly, yoga process is meant to quiet the mind and all these thoughts to settle down. That is why we have so many rules and regulations to follow, so that mind can be in control without becoming agitated. Yeah. If you follow the rules and regulations, gradually the mind will come under control. There's so many don'ts and so many do's. And if one is serious about training the mind, he has to follow them. If he acts whimsically means, I don't care about that rule, I don't care about this rule, not like that. That is what is whimsical means. What is the possibility of the mind being controlled? When the mind is finally trained to the point where it will think of nothing but Krishna, it will attain peace and will become tranquil. So it's possible, one day it will come there. So prasanta manasam hi enam, yoginam sukam uttamam, upaiti santa rajasam, brahmabhutam akalmasham. The yogi's mind is fixed on me, verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. So when we fix our mind on Krishna, we can achieve the highest perfection of transcendental, real happiness. Because he's beyond the mode of passion. He realizes qualitative identity with Supreme. So notice qualitative identity with Supreme. That means we understand we're qualitatively one with Krishna, but we're quantitatively very small. And thus is freed from all reactions to past deeds. Like that. Because of Krishna consciousness, we don't get the karma from the past reactions also like that. That's point made here. Yeah, I don't know, Saitija, you're comfortable reading the next few couple of paragraphs to close
Yeah,
it?
yeah, sure,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
sure.
The mind is always concocting objects for happiness. I'm always thinking, this will make me happy or that will make me happy. Happiness is here, happiness is there. In this way, the mind is taking us anywhere and everywhere. It is as though we are riding on a chariot behind an unbridled horse. We have no power over where we are going, but can only sit in a horror and watch helplessly. As soon as the mind is engaged in the process of Krishna consciousness, specifically by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then the wild horses of the mind will gradually come under our control. We must engage in Krishna's service every moment of our lives in order to keep the restless and turbulent mind from dragging us from one object to another in a vain search for happiness in the temporary material world. Yunjan evam tadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukena brahma samspar, samsparsham atyantam sukham asnute. Thus, the self-control yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord. Krishna serves as a patron for one who is devoted to him. When one is in difficulty, his patron saves him. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is real friend of every living entity, and we have to revive our friendship with him. The method for reviving this friendship is the process of Krishna consciousness. By practice of Krishna consciousness, mundane passionate hankering will come to a stop. This passionate hankering keeps us diverse from Krishna. Krishna is within us and is waiting for us to turn to him. But we are too busy passionately eating the fruits of the tree of the material desire. This passionate compulsion to enjoy these fruits must stop, and we must situate ourselves in our real identity as a Brahman, pure spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, very well
So,
said. Mm.
yeah, and like from these chapters, overall, like, you know, like, like as a whole,
Mm,
whatever in the material world, like
mm,
whatever we are feeling happy is temporarily.
mm,
And also, like, as mentioned, like, we think sometimes we think that then this, like that, like our mind takes us somewhere and anywhere.
mm,
So, like, in order to drag them away, like the one way is by chanting Hare Krishna mantra.
mm,
And then overall, like by practicing the Krishna consciousness and like, by practicing yoga,
mm,
this makes us like, we can stop these of thinking and, this makes us uh, like, we can control our mind in a simple way.
mm. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
And then what is the result of controlling the mind and practicing Krishna consciousness?
Like, we can have a pure spirit, like happiness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're getting the real transcendental spiritual happiness,
Okay.
basically. That is the
Yeah.
overall goal. That is where the whole conclusion is going to. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
summarizing nicely. You see, read
Yeah.
Sanskrit also, you nicely also. You read, you learned reading Sanskrit. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
From here. Good. Very good. Yeah. So others can also share because when we all catch something in the whole reading, even though we're all reading the same thing, I catch something, Saityaja will catch something, Prabhas will catch something, Aditya will catch something. That's where they will enhance the discussion. So, what do you both take also from the today's discussion, today's reading so far, Saityaja and Prabhas? Sorry, Saityaja, if you spoke right, Prabhas and Aditya.
Prabhuji, ultimately we have to concentrate on Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantram, practice చేస్తూ daily chanting చేస్తూ we have to realize that is the ultimate bliss.
Mm.
So reaching Krishna is the ultimate bliss for us.
Yeah.
సో దాని నుంచే మనం ఈ టెంపరీ హ్యాపీనెస్ వీటిలన్నిటి నుంచి మనం బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోవడానికి ప్రయత్నం చేయాలి.
Wonderful.
ప్రయత్నించడానికి హరే కృష్ణ మహామంత్రం ఇట్ విల్ హెల్ప్. అంటే
Mm.
అదొక్కటే కాదు, బట్ స్టిల్ లవింగ్ కృష్ణ విల్ హెల్ప్ us టు
Yeah, very nice,
get there.
Aditya. Yeah, exactly. And towards the last paragraph, Prabhupada is saying that by engaging in service of Krishna, our mind will be controlled also. Yeah. One of the ways
అంతే కదా.
one of the ways we serve Krishna is by chanting the holy name also. Yes.
అవును బ్రో.
Correct. Wonderful. Yeah. Very
అంటే
nice.
సేమ్ అదే భగవద్గీతలో మళ్ళీ చెప్తాడు కదా ప్రభుజీ, కర్మని చేయమని.
Mm.
లైక్ కర్మణ్యవాధికారస్తే మా ఫలేష్ కదాచన మా కర్మఫల హేతుర్భూతే సంగత్సవ కర్మని.
Ah,
దాంట్లో కర్మని చేసి లైక్ అర్జునుడికి చెప్తాడు కదా,
అవును.
కర్మ కరో అర్జున్ అన్య
Ah,
జై పరాజయ్ కా విచార్ చోడ్కర్ అప్నా కర్తవ్య పర్ ధ్యాన్ దో
ah,
అంటాడు కదా.
ah.
అది కూడా కరెక్టే కదా అంటున్నా, కర్మని చేయడం కూడా.
Yeah, that is starting instruction of Krishna. But basically,
ఓకే.
when we instructing somebody, we use a basic instruction, little bit more advanced instruction, little more advanced instruction. So meanings, but still it is a valid instruction. అక్కడ చెప్పేది
ఓకే.
ఏంటంటే we do our duties, prescribed duties చేయాలి అని ఎంఫసైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం ఆ సెక్షన్ లో.
ఓకే, కర్మయోగంలో.
కర్మయోగ సెక్షన్ లో బేసికలీ ఏంటంటే కొంతమంది ఏమనుకున్నారంటే నేను భక్తి చేస్తున్నా కదా, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఆఫీస్ గురించి పట్టించుకుని అవసరం లేదు, చదువు పట్టించుకుని అవసరం లేదు, ఫ్యామిలీ పట్టించుకుని అవసరం అనుకుంటారు. అది ఇన్కరెక్ట్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ అని చెప్తున్నాడు కృష్ణుడు బిగినింగ్ లో. ఏంటంటే అవి కూడా డ్యూటీస్ చేయాలి. ఎందుకు? ఈ బాడీ వచ్చింది, ఈ మనకి పేరెంట్స్ మనకి బాడీ ఇచ్చారు, మనకి జన్మ ఇచ్చారు. అలాగే ఈ లైఫ్ లో మనం ఈ వరల్డ్ లో బతకాలంటే సమ్ యాక్టివిటీ చేయాలి, దానికి చదువుకోవాలి, దానికి జాబ్ కావాలి, దానికి డబ్బులు కావాలి కదా. సో అందుకని ఆ మెయింటెనెన్స్ కోసం కావాల్సిన డ్యూటీస్ కూడా చేయాలి మనం. కానీ అవి కృష్ణుడితో కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలన్నమాట, స్లోగా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తూ. కృష్ణుడితో ఎలా కనెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటాము? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, when I earn money, then I can peacefully do my devotion service. When I don't have job, then I'm always worried about getting job only. Then I cannot practice peacefully Krishna consciousness at our level. There are people who with all difficulties they can practice Krishna consciousness. So that's why we want to take care of our family also. If you get money, if you get job, I can take care of my family nicely. So that's why I need to do the job. That's one. Second thing is, when the money comes from job, we give some of it for Krishna service like that. So that's also a service. For that purpose also we're doing job. Third thing is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, let us say you're already purified, already you don't need duties, but still you do it as an example for others like that. Then you can show as an example how we can do this job also, how we can do Krishna consciousness also, like that. So that's a service to Krishna again, because Krishna wants everybody to become happy. So by setting example, others will also want to do Krishna consciousness like that. So like that, different levels of understanding of working for Krishna, basically art of working for Krishna. Yeah, but that is also a good point also what you shared about working. Another thing also you talked about is how we don't need to worry about the results. Endeavor is in our hands. Results is in Krishna's hands. But I need to strive for a goal. But I will do all my best for the goal. But ultimately, whether I get goal or not, result or not, is not in my hands. That also we understand. When we understand that, we can strive wonderfully. Otherwise, I'm thinking about goal, but I will not do what I need to do for right now also. Yeah, anything else, Aditya, you wanted to share?
అంతే ప్రభు.
Antena? Okay, perfect. Prabhas, your turn.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Like in this material world, everything is temporary. Like people have wishes and many others. To overcome all this, we need to get into Krishna consciousness. So to get into the Krishna consciousness, like there are many things that we can do, and the main important thing is Hare Krishna mantra, and also reading Prabhupada books, and knowing Krishna stories, and also Kirtan. So by doing all this, we can get into spiritual consciousness. So like whenever we need to achieve the goals, like uh, we need to give our 100%. Like even if we fail, like we need to think that it is all going on in a purpose.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, we need to think that Krishna plans everything. So, like, every time we need to stay positive.
Very
And
wonderful point. Hmm.
yeah, but still, we need to give our 100%.
Yes. Good. Wonderful, bros. Nice point. I was sharing this afternoon in the class. Let us say we have a desire and Krishna fulfills the desire. Then we understand, oh, Krishna is so kind. Krishna is giving me grace. Krishna is giving me faith in him. That's why he's fulfilling my desire. That is one possibility. Out of three possibilities, I'll tell. Krishna fulfills the desire. Then we think Krishna is giving me faith. That's why he's fulfilling the desire. Krishna is taking long time to fulfill the desire. That means desire is fulfilled, but it takes long time. Then we understand Krishna is teaching me patience. Krishna does everything according to his timeline, not my timeline, like that. Third possibility is Krishna doesn't fulfill my desire. Then, like you said, this is the point you were stressing. Then
Yeah.
we take it as
Wrong.
Krishna has a better plan for me. So Krishna didn't fulfill this desire, but because he's a well-wisher of me, he has a better plan for me. I don't know what is the better plan yet, but he's a better plan for it. That is sure. With this understanding, we strive Krishna consciousness will grow. Basically, we grow in their faith of Krishna consciousness, and we'll feel the protection of Krishna all the time.
If our desire is not fulfilled, we need to assume that maybe it could be a wrong way.
There's a better plan for me for Krishna from Krishna.
Yeah, in the future. Yes.
Yeah, but we don't know what is the better plan yet. But Krishna has a better plan for sure and Kolmada. Basically, all these things from our point of view we cannot see, but from Krishna's point of view you can see. Many times in life you can also observe from now on. Many times we think why I did not get this, but after some time we'll see, oh, I'm glad that I did not get that. Otherwise I would be in trouble today, like that. I don't know, you all heard the Chinese farmer story. Did I tell you in class anytime? Chinese farmer story?
No, Prabhuji.
No? Okay, let us discuss then. Basically, it's a simple story only. Basically, one time there was a Chinese farmer. He has one son also, and he has a small farm also. And the neighbors also have farm. So they're all doing agriculture basically. They have farms. So one time he gets a one horse. Somehow somebody donates a one horse to him. Then until now he was doing the agriculture with just hands and legs only himself. He doesn't have an animal to do it. No bullocks, no ox, no horse, like that. Now the moment this horse came, now he could use the horse to do the agriculture. Then somebody said, wow, you're so fortunate, you got horses to do agriculture. Then he says, good fortune, misfortune, who can say? That is his mantra. Good fortune, misfortune, who can say? And then he'll continue using the horse to do that. But then after some time, what happens is the horse that is there runs away. It's gone from this place. Then everybody says, oh, you're so unfortunate, your horse has gone. Then he says the mantra again, good fortune, wish fortune, who can say? Like that. What happens after some time, the horse comes back with more horses now this time. So now people will say, wow, you're so fortunate. Now earlier you had one horse, now you have four horses. Now you can do more land, you can do agriculture easily, like that. Then he says, good fortune, misfortune, who can say? So you see pattern, something he thought is good turned out to be bad. Something he thought was bad turned out to be good. That cycle is going. Now, next he says, next what happens? One time, one of these horses need to be trained. So his son, the only son he has, he was trying to train the horses, and he falls down from the horse, and then his leg is broken now. So now all the neighbors come and say, oh, so unfortunate, your son broke his leg. Then he says, good fortune, misfortune, who can say? Then after some time, what happens? The government, because of the war, government is drafting all the young men to come to fight on behalf of the country. So now they come to this home also, but they see that the son has a fractured leg. Leg is not leg is broken. So then they say, okay, you are exempted. You don't need to come to war anymore. Then everybody will say, oh, you're so fortunate. Your son need not go to the war. My sons are going. We don't know whether he will come back home or not. Like that. Then he says, good fortune, misfortune, you can say. So at one point of time, it appears good misfortune, but it turns to fortune. And what he thought about fortune actually turns out to be misfortune. Then that turns out to fortune. So we don't know what is happening in from bigger plan of life like that. So that is when we remember that, then we're always happy. But how everything will turn out auspicious when we engaging in service of Krishna. Then Krishna will arrange things better for us like that. The initial stages of Krishna consciousness are brings auspiciousness and drives away miseries in our life. There are Sanskrit terms for this. Kleshagni, that means kleshas, miseries going away, and Subhada means auspiciousness coming like that. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Any questions? Are there any other comments you have? Any of you have? You are satisfied? Okay.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay, so we
Prabhuji.
can discuss next time. So you tell me some feedback. Last time class format was better. We hear the audio and discuss, or is reading and discussing is better, or third option is me giving a class is better.
Prabhuji, నాకైతే లైక్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్ మై ఒపీనియన్ గైస్ ఫస్ట్.
చెప్పండి.
అంటే లైక్ ఈ రీడింగ్ అండ్ మీరు ఇచ్చే లెక్చర్స్ అయితే ఐ ఫీల్ బెటర్.
Okay, got it.
I feel
Sure.
better, these two.
Perfect. Okay,
And
sure.
remaining,
Yeah, even I think reading is better, Prabhuji.
Okay, sure, Prabhas.
Like,
Thank you.
ఎవరికి అర్థమైంది వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు కదా, సో
గుడ్. ఐఎమ్ హ్యాపీ. ఆదిత్య, వాట్
కొద్దిగా అంటే కొద్దిగా ఇంటరాక్టివ్ గా ఉంది.
కరెక్ట్ కదా? దట్స్ గుడ్ ఐడియా. Yes.
రీడింగ్
Aditya,
బెటర్.
how about you, Aditya? What is your input? What is helping you? What do you prefer?
ఇదే బెటర్ ప్రభుజీ.
They better? Okay,
ఇంటరాక్టింగ్.
sure. Interacting. Wonderful. So we'll try doing like this now and then. Yeah. Okay.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna,
thanks,
everyone.
Prabhuji.
See you.
Hare Krishna.